Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. As you can see, I'm not in the car today. I'm actually in Ciudad Sandino, in the middle of Nicaragua. I am here at the LifeLink School, and I have the privilege of being able to sit here and interview on this special edition of our side-by-side with Alysha McCree. She is the director of the school here at LifeLink, the director of education at the LifeLink School here in Ciudad Sandino, right outside of Managua, the capital of Nicaragua. And she has been working with LifeLink for the past 5 years in various roles, all the way from English teacher,
yes,
now as the director of education here at the school. So, Alysha, thanks for joining us on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
So listen, students are outside right now, the teachers are in classes, and I wanted to just take the time and just talk with you a little bit. This podcast goes out to leaders, people wanting to move into leadership, and just really anyone who's looking to improve their leadership. And one of the things that you have shown over the past 5 years that you've been here on the field is that you have seen people come and you've seen people go.
Absolutely.
Sometimes for great reasons, sometimes for maybe not so great reasons. Sometimes people come in and they're not always here to stay. They're here for a season.
There you go.
But something has been unique about what you've been able to do. People have come and they have gone, but you have stayed.
Correct.
And there's something to that. There's something unique about that, especially today. I wanted to see if I could talk with you and talk with us about what is it about you? What is inside of you that allows you to stay, even though you see others leave? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. One of the reasons why I stay, because there's, moments in every person's life where you have to step back and evaluate where you are at that time.
Yeah.
And there are moments when you do want to go, because maybe you have a tough day, or you say, can I really do this? Should I really be doing this?
Yeah.
And when you go and you take the moment to really go back to why you came in the first place, I think that helps a lot to understand why it is that you should continue to stay. You came for a reason, and oftentimes that reason will keep you where you need to be. And in my case, it was just that. I know that I was called to be here, first off, and so that calling is not something that I decided for myself. It was something greater than myself. And remembering that calling keeps me here. I can also step outside of my office and look out across the campus. I can see a student walk past and give them a hug. I can go and speak with a teacher, give them feedback, or also receive feedback, and remember exactly the reasons why I'm here. Also reflecting over time, what are the things that have been done here, the changes that we've seen, the fruit that has been seen here, the vision that we have going forward, and if there is a long-term vision, if there's a long-term plan, those short steps become a little easier because you're not on a wandering path. You know that there is somewhere that you're going to. So all of those things are reasons why I continue to stay.
Now that's a good point that you make. When you've got a vision, when you've got long-term, those short steps help because I don't need to worry about that. I just need to worry about this, and that's going to get me. Exactly. This is going to get me there. Surely, in 5 years, the things that kept you back then are not the same things that keep you now.
No, they're not. I mean, I think the general idea, like the part of calling, you finish until the calling is done and you're called elsewhere. That's something that will never change.
Right.
But I think things have definitely changed because when I first came, as Avery mentioned, I was here to do English classes.
Right.
And that was my plan, and I thought that's what I was going to continue to do. Maybe some additional ministries along the way or additional work along the way, but never did I imagine that I would be in this role. And so I think as things continue to evolve and to change, those steps do change, but the path remains the same, 1 second you're kind of walking on the sidewalk, and another moment you have to take a path through a dirt road. Maybe then you go through a little bit of grass, and then you end up in the forest or a jungle.
Right.
But the path and the destination remain the same.
Yeah. Now, when others leave, what sort of toll, if any, does that take on you, and how do you press through that to stay true to what you're calling is?
Yeah. I mean, the reality is, there's some people who are here for a season and cause difficulty, and so when they leave, it's a little easier to deal with
right,
those moments.
Right.
There's a bit of relief that sets in. But when there are people who truly you believe we're going to be here for longer periods of time, or you just want it to be there for longer periods of time and they go, it definitely takes a toll. It's a difficult thing. It's that heart and emotional toll along the way. But dealing with it is saying that they are going on to multiply and to go and do more than what they could do here. You know, this point or this phase finished in their lives and their walk and their steps, and now they're taking that next step forward. It's different from where you are. It's different from the terrain that you have to walk through, but it's still good for them, and it means that now there's something else that needs to kind of grow and change within you. And so I don't necessarily love all change, but I always look forward to the opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
And so with all of those changes always comes growth as long as you're changing in the right direction.
That's good. See, and I think that's a big difference. You said when others leave, it does take a toll, but it forces me to change.
Exactly.
Not just stand on the outside and go, well, that's messed up, and place a judgment. I love the way you internalize that the right way. What about those around you? What's your role, if any, in the people around you, how change, how when people go, when people leave the team? What has been your role in how you help them process it?
Yeah. I mean, I like to be the listening ear, but I also tend to be a very direct, very honest person. And so I can share those moments of, look, but what are you called to do? Stay your course. It's the encouragement that goes along with it. But it's also kind of, you know, in those difficult moments, sometimes you need that quick dose of reality to say, okay, we're still here. This is where we're supposed to be. Now we continue marching forward. So when there's been change on the team, those are the things that I say to myself first, and then also say those things to them.
Yeah, and I've heard you use that word, this person has left to multiply what God was doing. This person has left it. So that's something you actually say. It's not just a thing you think about it. You say that to the others that want to know.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. God is one who doesn't necessarily subtract. You know, there are things, yes, that he takes away, but it's always with the purpose of multiplication and growth and addition. And so I believe that wholeheartedly, that whatever it is that we go through, anything that is happening, there's a multiplication effect, a positive multiplication effect that can come from all of that. And so that's what we do. You know, the work here is the work here, and as people come through this, it's the opportunity for them to learn and grow within this circle, and from there they go and they multiply. As this continues to also multiply. So it's an incredible thing. It really is a positive thing. You know, people leaving isn't necessarily anything that's negative. It's an opportunity for growth in them, opportunity for organizational growth, and opportunity for personal growth.
Great. See, and that's why I think you've been so successful here, is because you've been able to take these different change moments as a growth for you and as a growth for those around you. Well, Alysha, thank you. Thank you for giving me some time to do the podcast with you. For everyone listening, I hope you got something great out of this. As change happens around you, even in your teams, hopefully you're able to not just lead yourself, but lead others around you through it. So that's it, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.